Happy New Year!
Happy
Welcome
New
to
Year,
the
my
Vanishing
friend.
Inc. annual letter.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to be here with all of you. If you're joining us for the first time, this is very simple, the way that this works. Inspired by Warren Buffett, always writing a letter to his constituents, to his shareholders, we decided many years ago that we would write a letter to our community, to all of you guys, sharing what we got right during the year, what we thought we got wrong, things we might be doing well, things we might be doing better next year. It's supposed to be an unvarnished look at our year and with some things coming up.
And in some ways, this is actually a letter to ourselves as well, because we constantly tell ourselves we need to learn from our mistakes and we need to celebrate our wins. So it's actually one of the more gratifying things we get to do is at the end of every year, we sit down and we just think and talk about the things that we did this year, for better or for worse. And if you are a member of our newsletter, then you will have already received our letter in text form. It would have been in your inbox in the last few minutes. But if you're not, you're crazy. But you can also see it on our blog where it will live forever. So
Yeah,
I think we
we
should get started.
yeah, we spend a lot of time on this letter, and we won't talk about everything in this live that we talk about in the letter. So give it a read. Now, before we started, when we were rehearsing, Andy, you had asked me if it would be appropriate and okay if, when we celebrated some of our wins, if you would do something called raising the roof. Do you want to take people through what that means and what that'll look like when you're excited about it?
Yeah, the most hilarious part of this is when we were rehearsing. We literally have not had a minute to rehearse this, but raising the roof. Here we go, new thing. Right
There
there
it
from
is.
Andy Blackman.
I think you should do
Raise
that
the
for
roof.
every triumph we have this year. Audience, let's hold him to it. And by the way, audience, you guys can put your questions in to the field there, and we will get those questions and we'll try and answer them as we go along.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and get Raise the Roof into this conversation at some point, just as a little treat for you, Josh, because I know you love it when I
Yeah,
do
I
that.
just want to see you do the.
You'll see it.
Dell is already going. He's saying, I wish they would open a physical magic shop like Apple does with their products. Well, guess what, Dell? We're going to be talking all about that. We have two shops. It's not so well known, but it's getting well known, and we're going to talk all about those shops in a bit.
Yeah, and here's the
Okay.
important thing: is we love this to be collaborative. So put your questions in, put your comments in, and we'd love to interact and talk. On the Vanishing Inc. website, you can type them in. They don't appear on screen, but we'll read them out. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, they can appear on our screens, and we can go for it. Hey, Josh, let's do this.
Yeah. So
Let's start with
let's
the
start
first thing in
here.
the letter.
Let's start here. If you don't know, Andy and I are best friends, and we founded Vanishing Inc. A long time ago, 15 years ago, and we run it together with an amazing team. But we have complementary skill sets, things that one does better, the other one doesn't do as well. But one thing that neither of us do very well are things related to numbers. And as the company has grown, we realized we needed a CFO. We needed a numbers guy, somebody to crunch the numbers and help improve and optimize our business. And we got that person this year. His name is Jeff Kowalk. He's an excellent magician. You will know him. It's so good. It's so good, Andy. Keep raising the roof every time something happens like that. Somebody out there, I beg you, turn it into a little GIF and send it to me.
I think we
Um,
know it's going to be the jerks.
yeah. And Jeff is fantastic. You will know him as Erudite Magic. He does a YouTube channel where he reviews magic books. There it is. Dell's saying, "Oh, Mr. Erudite." Yep. But Jeff also comes from the corporate world where he functioned as a CFO and ran numbers for another company. So now he's doing that for us. Um, the other thing I want to mention, business wise, as you know, in a business like this, a form of retail, Black Friday is the lifeblood of the company. I mean, we'll do more business in that period than we will sometimes in whole other swaths of time that last more than a month. And I'm pleased to say Black Friday this year, which we totally redid the way that we do our sale, was our biggest and best Black Friday yet.
Yeah, and every year we talk about Black Friday being a struggle for us. And the reason for that is quite simply we work very well in what we call steady state. We're sending the same number of orders out every month. We can predict how many it is. But then Black Friday comes along and we don't know whether it's going to be 2 times the amount of orders, 4 times the amount of orders, or in some cases, 6, 7, 8 times the amount of orders that come in per day. And that's difficult for any warehouse team to keep sending out and keep up that pace. And we really care about our warehouse team and we don't overwork them. We don't try and mandate any kind of crazy amount of overtime. So sometimes it means we get a little behind on order dispatch. And in previous years, we've got as far as 10 days behind sending orders out, which is an embarrassment to us. And every year we talk about how we're going to put things in place to make that better. And every year we do put things in place, but still we get more and more orders. But the important thing we did this year, I think, and the thing that I'm most proud of, is we worked on our communications. So there was messaging on the website if we were a little bit behind. At worst, we got about 2 days behind our normal dispatch, which is 24 hours. And we had messaging on the website to clarify that. So before you even placed your order, you got to see when your order was going to go out. And that was really important to us. And it meant that the team were not getting overly stressed at having to work 20-hour days or anything crazy like that. And we're really proud of that. But also, Josh gave a shout out to Jeff, but let's also give a shout out to the whole team, because something like Black Friday, actually, we start planning that normally in about May or June, and it's a lot of work. And that's the marketing team, the customer service team, the graphic design team, the video team. We have over exactly 47 team members right now, and they all did an amazing job this year, and we really appreciate them. So shout out to them. And to celebrate, Josh is going to raise the roof right now.
Big raise the roof. So we told you that this would be unvarnished, that we're going to tell you our successes and our failures. I'm here to tell you about what we fondly refer to in this company and will forever live in the history of our company as what we call disaster class. Earlier this year, we were celebrating Masterclass. Maybe some of you were there. We had an open Zoom meeting, this kind of celebration of this program. If you're not familiar with Masterclass, it's the best value on our site. We have guest teachers every week talking about fantastic magic, and then they do a live Q&A. So we did a celebratory sort of check-in where David Williamson came and we chatted. And unfortunately, it was attacked by bots that were posting pornographic images in the meeting, and we couldn't stop it. When that happened, Andi was terribly concerned. Show them the face that you had, Andi. Just come close to the screen and show them the face. Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, I was rushing, trying to close these bots down. So with the team behind the scenes.
And so, while that was going on, while he was just dutifully trying to close them down and recover, I was doing the important work of laughing my face off. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't believe what was happening. But to be clear, it's not funny, and we are very upset that it happened, but it was very funny at the time. We have since taken steps to make sure that doesn't happen in the future, and we're sorry to anybody who had to see that, but it was disaster class, and we will strive to be better.
Yes, that's for sure. And actually, we've put stuff in place now to ensure that can't ever happen again. We really locked down those Zoom calls from now on. Yeah, we've had other kind of delays with products this year. Although we often talk about that, how manufacturing products is kind of a slow process for us. And there's a product, Insta Project, that we released at the end of this year. That was a slow release for us. I think it took something like 6 or 7 years to get out. But our product team has done an amazing job this year of just keeping us updated with a steady supply of products. And we've released more products this year than ever before, and we're really proud of that.
Yeah, and what I would say is we've added another team member, Tim Hill from Ohio, my old pal. He comes on as a project manager to help us get even more new products out. But it's not all about business. I want to talk to you now about some of our charitable efforts. You know that we have Share Magic, the charitable organization that we started to give back and to help out magicians and young magicians in particular. And one of the things that we did this year was Andi and I, in collaboration with Matt Baker, who is a mathematics professor at Georgia Tech, we wrote a book at the request of a charity called Agastya. So let me tell you about this charity very quickly. In India, they have identified that one of the biggest problems socially there is access to education in rural areas. There's huge swaths of territories where there are no schools for kids to attend, and therefore they grow up illiterate. They grow up without the ability to do basic mathematics. So this charity sends out vehicles that become classrooms. These trucks actually unfold and become mobile classrooms in the fields, in the rural areas, and they can teach them math. The problem that they ran into is gathering kids and engaging their interest. They want to make it exciting. So they brought in Andi and myself and Matt Baker, and we wrote a book that teaches math through magic tricks. And I was very lucky with Matt Baker to travel to India to unveil this book, which could be used for over 1 million children by early next year. It was translated in Telugu and some other languages, and through our collaboration with Augustia, lots and lots and lots and lots of kids are going to be using playing cards and dice and simple magic tricks to learn about math.
Yeah, and it's a really fun project, and I'm glad you guys could go and share it. It's amazing to have magic being the vehicle to teach kids like that maths. It's incredible. Something else we've been working on is a project with the College of Magic, and they have this whole new initiative. Do you know what this initiative is called, Josh?
Everybody's Magic.
Not just that. So there is Everybody's Magic. That's a good point. Everybody's Magic is a book that we did with the College of Magic and Richard Wiseman, and every sale goes to the college. And this is something new that we've done. You can choose how much to pay. So when you purchase this book, it doesn't say it's $20. It says how much do you want to pay. And some people have paid $20. Other people have paid $500. And everything we earn goes straight to the college. And there's an incredible deck of cards as well. But the other project is called Raise the Roof. They are working on this incredible initiative to literally raise their roof and add a new floor to their building. We went to the building last year and we were so inspired by what they do in Cape Town. And we made a large donation to help them put on this new floor in their building. And we did that thanks to you guys, because many of the donations that we pass on to the College of Magic come from you. So we really appreciate everything you've all done for us and for the college.
Yeah, thank you guys for making it possible. So now let's talk about retreats. For anybody who doesn't know,
Can we jump back? Sorry. There's one more thing I want to talk about, which is the youth scholarships, because the youth scholarships are our favorite thing to do in January. Do you mind if we talk about that quickly?
I'll allow it. Sure.
Okay, you're going to have to now because I've done it. So if you've never been to the Session or Magi Fest and you are under 18, you should know we have this incredible youth scholarship program where you can come with a parent for free. And it's crazy, right? You look genuinely shocked.
What? We're still doing this?
This is going to shock you even more, Josh, because the deadline for both of those have passed, but I think we should extend it just for, let's do 24 hours. If anybody wants to apply within the next 24 hours, young magicians, we can try and find a way to...
Wait, I got a better idea, Andy. Let's charge them like something just so we can profit, like maybe $500 a person.
Okay, good idea. But no, we would love to have more young magicians at our conferences. So if you are a young magician under 18, by today, you can apply, and we will find a way to get you in. I think we should do that. Also, we have a new thing that we're going to start. We're going to email about this in the next week or so. But we want to do a book drive for young magicians. So if you're coming to one of these conventions and you have spare books, spare magic books that you don't want anymore, or that you've purchased especially for this, if you like, we'd like to give them to the young magicians as part of the scholarship. They're, of course, going to get some Vanishing Inc books as well, but bring them along. Bring books that you want to donate to the kids, and we're going to make sure that every kid goes away with at least one magic book, but hopefully way more. Now, Josh, you should talk about the retreats.
At last. All this talk of charities has got me wanting to talk about traveling. Here's one of the coolest things that we do at Vanishing. If you're not familiar with our retreats, it's basically this. It's the best parts of a magic convention fused with the best parts of a luxury exotic vacation. We basically pick somewhere around the world, and then we bring in some of our favorite talent, and we stage a convention there mixed with all the amazing adventures that you want to go on. And unlike most conventions where you say, sorry, honey, sorry, partner, I'm leaving, I'm going away, and you shouldn't come. This is one where you go with your partner, and we encourage you to attend with your person, your child, your partner, your friend, because it's so much more fun for them and for you to have your person with you. So we went to Tuscany. We did 2 separate weeks in Tuscany where we had Pitt Hartling and David Williamson and Luc Germain, and we stayed at this fantastic middle-age sort of convent. It was a monastery at one point. We went wine tasting. We went to old, cute little hilltop villages. It was an astounding time, and it was totally sold out for both weeks.
We also did a retreat in Alaska as well. We went on a cruise, Quantum of the Seas, Royal Caribbean cruise, where we had so much fun. We spent 7 days together. We landed on a glacier We saw Bears. We saw Amazing Magic. We had David Regal. We had Carl Hine. We had Garrett Thomas, Bill Malone, Steve Forte, and Josh and myself did a lecture too.
Jim
And
Steinmeier.
Jim Steinmeier. How could I forget the GOAT, Jim Steinmeier? And these are just some incredible photos from that amazing trip. And this was the longest retreat we've ever done. But to get to spend 7 days together with a small group of magicians meant that we all left knowing each other. We'd all done magic for each other. And to me, that was a highlight of the year.
And we've got 2 coming up. We do 2 every year, 1 domestic and 1 international. And the 1 international that we have coming up is the Nile Cruise. We're taking people to the Four Seasons Hotel and then on a Nile cruise down to Luxor and Thebes. It's going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, it is entirely sold out. These have proven so popular that they tend to sell out just to the alumni. But we do have spaces for a wait list. So always sign up for the wait list, even when our retreats sell out, because people do cancel, emergencies do come up, and we can sometimes get extra rooms. So you should try. And we've got some new innovations for those who do our retreats with us, who are the alums. This is kind of fun. We're going to be giving Zoom lessons on Egyptology so that before you go, you can kind of learn about the places that you're seeing. And as a gift for everybody who signed up, they got a beautiful book on Egypt that had King Tut's tomb in great, detail with photographs, just so that you can study up on it. And, these kind of innovations, we're always pushing ourselves, and people are saying to us, we want to travel with you guys.
Josh, I was just talking to George about the waitlist, and he said that anybody who wants to, who's on the waitlist, if they want, they can swim behind the boat for the duration of the trip.
Great.
So if you're up for
Is
that,
this the kind of
fine.
humor that we can expect on the Nile Cruise retreat?
If that's the kind of insults I can expect, I'm not even coming, so somebody can fill my space. How about that? There's a comment from Dell here. Let's put Dell's comment on the screen. I might just do it myself to prove I can do my own. Look at that. Do one in the States. All right. Shall we? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is where we're going to announce it. Actually, we haven't announced this yet. It's not available for sale right now, so please don't email us. Keep an eye on the website. But in October, we are doing a US retreat in Washington, D.C. And this retreat is all about kind of access, getting access to things that you might not normally get access to. We're going to the Library of Congress to see their magic exhibit that isn't even an exhibit. We're seeing the collection that you can't get to see. They are curating it especially for us. We're going to see the Spy Museum, and we are going to have some incredible lectures from Michael Vincent, from Danny Ortiz. You're going to be lecturing, I'm going to be lecturing, and there's so much more. But we can't announce too much just yet. But keep an eye on the website because we have limited spaces that we can open up, but that's going to come soon.
Absolutely.
Should we move on? I think we should.
Yeah.
All right.
So you want to go? Go ahead.
Why not? One of the things I'm most proud of this year is that we've kind of found new pathways in the magic industry, because typically selling a magic product follows the same kind of pattern. You maybe do a little teaser video, and then you do a trailer, and then you release it, and you send an email, and then in 3 days' time, people have forgotten about it and moved on to the next product. And we don't think that's the way it should be, because a book, for example, we spend hundreds of hours on, and just to get it out there for a few days and then people forget about it, that's not what we think magic should be about, especially books and tricks that are people's life's work. So this year in particular, we've really experimented with how we roll out and how we sell magic. And one of the ones I'm most proud of actually is the Piff book. We did this live event where here we go, here's some clips from it, where we rented a studio in Las Vegas, and for an hour, I hosted this event. George produced it. We had Piff there, obviously, but we also had guests like Penn and Teller. We had David Copperfield, Shin Lim. It was just a who's who of Las Vegas magic, and it was so much fun. It was live, which kind of added to the stress, but it was just really, really enjoyable. And to me, this is the kind of lengths that I don't think other magic stores might go to. It was crazy expensive. It was crazy stressful, but it just goes to show kind of how much we put into these releases, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. And we're also trying to get creative in the way we produce magic itself. For example, one of our frequent collaborators, Hector Mancha, FISM winner, came to us and said, I've got this trick called the world's greatest card trick. Now, is it the world's greatest card trick? Maybe. It's an amazing card trick. But the point is, he didn't want to release it in the traditional way, as a download, as a pamphlet, as a book. He wanted to release it by teaching it personally to every single person who bought it. Now, it's quite an expensive trip, and it's available on our site. But when you buy it, you get a personal lesson from Hector. And the response has been off the charts great. People love this because they get the real work. They get to talk to the creator about all the ins and outs. He gets to feel great because he knows the world's greatest card trick is only going to be performed properly, and he can control who is doing it and the way that they're doing it. And it was just such a success for us. And I think it's a model moving forward for things that we can do for special high-end releases.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that we're rolling out very early next year is closed captions. We, for years, have had this process on our website where we call it community captions, where somebody could get one of our downloads for free if in return they would write captions of the downloads. But of course, technology has moved on over the last 6 months, a year. So starting early January, every trailer and every download on our site will automatically have captions. So every time we add a product, it's now going to be fully closed captions so that our deaf community can get access to and hear the trailers or read the trailers. But also for people who just would prefer to have us on mute, now you can just read us. And I think it's going to be a really important thing. Now, we can't do this with everybody's explanations who aren't Vanishing Inc products, but for all of the products that we produce and all the trailers we produce, they will automatically have captions. And we think that's a really important move forward this year coming up.
Great. Let's talk about some new magic. I am really excited that finally we are going to be releasing Angelo Carbone's Notion of Motion, which is a named card rising out of the deck. And through a weird circumstance, I was actually one of the first to ever have this trick in the handmade version that he made. You show a card box, take the cards out of the box, show the cards, put them back in the box, hold the box like this, ask somebody to name any card, not picture cards, number cards. I mean, just name one of 52 cards. And the card rises from the pack and goes down. And no, it has nothing to do with electronics. It's an amazing trick, and it'll be coming out this next year.
Before I tell you about some new books, I'm going to quickly answer some questions about the captioning. Somebody said, can downloads also include chapters? Actually, most of our downloads already do include chapters. And somebody else said, can closed captioning be shut off? Absolutely. It's an option to turn on. And if you do, then you get the captions. All right, let's talk about books, because this time last year, I stood here and I told you that 2023 was going to be a year for books. And it really was. We packed this year with books, but actually, 2024 is going to be even more books. We have 2 new books coming from Alan Ackerman. They're called All In. It's a 2-volume book set. It's full color. It's full of photos. It's just Alan Ackerman's pretty much life work since Las Vegas Cardboard, and it's an incredible collection, and I really enjoyed reading and working on them. Later in the year, kind of mid to end of the year, we have the Marlowe's magazines. All 6 of these magazines will be available in hardback form. I've completely relayed them out. The illustrations have been remastered. These things are going to look stunning, but most importantly, they're going to be easy to study. They're no longer this kind of old typeset, weird, hard to read stuff. It's just a really clear, useful layout, and I think people are going to really like these.
Yeah, and this should come as welcome news, I hope. Andy and I, way back when we started this company, we spent 2 years, nearly full time, writing the definitive Sankey. 3 volumes, 500 tricks, 1,500 pages. And those books are long, long, long out of print. They go for big money on the secondhand market. Well, pleased to tell you, they are being reprinted this year. So you're going to get a chance to have what we feel is one of the most dynamic collections in all of magic. And we're so glad to welcome back our author, John Gustafaro, for his sequel to his book, 1 Degree, which remains one of my favorite Vanishing Inc books that I've ever been a part of producing. He has a new book coming out called The Nth Degree, which, if you love John's material, think Ackerman, think John Bannon, think poetic magic presentations, relatable, you're going to have a whole bunch of new stuff.
Somebody's asked a question for you, Bill Martin. What happened to Joshua J's masterclass that was supposed to be June or July of 2023?
Postponed.
Yeah.
Bill, it's been a very busy year, and I want to have one of my master classes is going to be on my particle system, which is kind of a memorized system of cards, and then I want that to coincide with when the book comes out. So it's coming.
We also have a few electronics products this year. If you saw us at Magic Live, you would have no doubt seen the SIA table, which is the most incredible electronics we have ever released, and we'll hopefully have that available mid-year this year. But we also have Emergence as well. This has been long teased over the years. Tim Hill's incredible Emergence. Tim is now part of the Vanishing Inc team, and this is the best coins to glass you've ever seen. I think magicians overuse that phrase James Bond gadget, but this really is. It's an incredible little gadget that does an amazing trick.
Tell us what it does, Andy. Prove it.
I told you already, coins to glass.
Yeah, but you're not going to explain what the gadget does. Well, if you see us at the conventions, you can see what the gadget does. I mean, the coin that appears in the glass is totally examinable. The glass has no cover on it. It's remarkable.
Yeah, you show your hands empty, and literally the coin appears in the glass where you can kind of stand away from it. It's incredible. Come and see us at Blackpool Magic Fest, the session, and hopefully we'll be able to show it to you then.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Josh.
Do you mind if I brag about you for a second?
Does that answer that?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about ourselves. So, one of the things that sets us apart from other magic companies, perhaps, is it's run by two magicians, and mostly by a team of magicians. Many people on our team are magicians. And I think that means that all of these things come from a place of love. Like, we really do get excited about the tricks we're releasing. We love magic books so much. So working on them is such a pleasure. But we are also two performing magicians, and I think that that's really important for the company. So let me brag a little bit about the year Andy has had outside of Vanishing Inc. So he debuted. What's that?
You don't have to. It's fine. I feel awkward in those situations.
Why don't you just go to it makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it? Why don't you turn around, just face the other way while we do it?
And people can say I'm not actually going bald, despite what you tell them.
Okay. No, you've got a big head of hair. Anyway, Andy debuted a show called Shuffled, and this is a one-man show with an amazing concept. You, in the audience, bring a deck of cards to the show. It can be an old deck, can be a nudie deck, could be a gross deck, a sealed pack of cards, and he does magic with your deck. He improvs the show. It's part improv, it's part magic, it's part storytelling, and it got rave reviews when it debuted at the most amazing venue called the Rhapsody Theater in Chicago. This is owned by Ricardo Rosenkrantz, who is himself a fine magician and performs in that venue. But he's begun hiring other people. And what's interesting is he gives you an opportunity to do long form entertainment. So these are not just do 20 minutes 6 times in an evening. This is write a show and we'll stage it in this gorgeous theater. And he did that, and it was great. And he's coming back in March. He also did the live stream that he talked about already with Piff and David Copperfield. Won't stop talking about his good friend David Copperfield. And he was on Masters of Illusion. He was on Penn's Sunday School podcast. It was a big year for Andy Gladwin.
You're very kind. I genuinely am uncomfortable. But I'm going to try and match that with you. But I don't do the touchy-feely stuff just as well as you do. But you have had a crazy good year this year. You've toured South Korea, Lebanon, Israel, Patagonia, Europe, all throughout the States. You've been on Masters of Illusion, which is both of our favorite TV shows to appear on. You have a show coming up in Carnegie Hall, which is going to be incredible. 31st of January, I believe. I'm going to try and make it there. But I flew to Chicago, you may remember that, to see your show, Look Closer, which was an incredible new show. And if you haven't seen Josh's show, he has this trick with shadows, with hand shadows, where he spent a year learning how to do hand shadows for this trick. And I had to watch every one of them every few weeks, and it's incredible what he has done with this routine. This is one of my favorite new pieces of magic, so I hope you seek out this show to see this piece of magic. But Josh has had such a killer year, and he is going back to the Rhapsody Theater in April, I think. Josh, is that right?
That's right.
Another month-long run, and I think you should make a real effort to go and see that show, because Look Closer is an exceptional magic show and is an inspiration to me, and hopefully to all of us So big year for you this year. But let's move on. I feel weird. I feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. Let's go.
Okay, let's talk conventions. I'll talk about Magi Fest. Magi Fest is January 25th to the 27th. We have one of the best lineups we've had in ages. Our guest of honor is none other than Richard Turner. Even if you've seen Richard Turner before and he's not performing a ton now, he is retiring his one-man show, and the last performance of it will be at our convention. So you don't want to miss it. We've got Juliana Chen, we've got Alan Ackerman, we've got Ossie Wynn, John Graham, Jay Sankey, John Gustafaro, David Kaplan doing a one-man show, Alexander Koblikov, who's an amazing juggler from Ukraine, Peter Samuelson, Michael Feldman, Dan Harlan, Jason Saran, the Montreal Trio, Arthur Benjamin, the math magician, Trig Watson, a finalist for America's Got Talent, Randy Shine, Lance Rich, Blaze Sierra, and Richard Hatch. It's going to be a blast.
And the session is in London in like a week and a half's time. It's coming up real soon. We have some amazing talent: Alexandra de Vivier, Alex Hecklau, Ruben Villagrand, Nicola Arcane, Tom Stone, Richard Evans, Danny Buckler. Danny's doing a lecture, by the way. Danny is a session favorite. He's doing a lecture, and it is going to kill. Luke Germain is going to be there as always because he is our favorite lecturer to have there. Francesco Fontanelli is an amazing magician who we saw at the retreat in Tuscany. David Gerardo, Ryan Plunkett, Michael Feldman. Alan Ackerman is going to be there, which will be the first time you can get hold of his new books, All In. And I'm gonna announce it, Josh. I'm gonna tell people we have one more guest coming. It's going to be David Stone. He's going to be there. This is the first time you would have heard it. You've heard it, but everybody else first time. So it's going to be a killer year in this in like a week and a half's time. So we are almost time to hand over to Harrison, who's going to do his Magic State of the Union, which I think is his 4th year doing it for us on this annual event. And I'm already nervous, but that's fine. But we kind of are inspired by the Apple talks that, when they do the Apple presentations. And Steve Jobs always used to have that phrase, one more thing. And we have one more thing to share, which is something you've really wanted to do for a while. And it's taken a lot of convincing to convince me to do it. So why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, well, we for more than a decade have been the book people. We've released more books than any other magic publisher. And I think we've always envisioned a time when we could make those books available to you on your devices, on your tablets, on your screens. And so we're here to announce eBooks is coming to Vanishing Inc.
Yeah, all of your favorite Vanishing Inc books will be available in ebook form in PDF, so they're fully laid out, fully searchable. But we didn't just want to release them as PDFs and do it as ebooks. We wanted to go all out. So we are launching very early in January a new search tool on the Vanishing Inc website. You'll be able to search the contents of any of our books, and it will show you the reference. If you want to search for Marlowe, there's a video that we can bring up to show what's happening here. If you want to search for Marlowe, you will see all of the references in all of our books and ebooks of Marlowe. You can even click through, you can preview the pages. You can even filter that search by the books that you own. So that way you get to now go and find the page number. You see Marlowe is referenced on page 23, and you get to run and grab your book and reference it. Hopefully we get to see the video. I don't think we will. Okay, that's okay. It's not showing, but don't worry about it. It's pretty cool. You'll be able to see it early in January.
What's funny is Andy's been teasing that search feature for weeks in our internal meetings, and he's always teasing it by saying, like, for example, if you search Andy Gladwin, look at it when it comes up. And at one point, somebody in the meetings went, "Will this work for any other search terms than Andy Gladwin?" And so, Andy, can you answer that question for sure now?
It does only seem to work for Andy Gladwin. That's all I programmed it for. But that's okay.
You
know what? I was pretty much only testing it with Gladwin, so I had to start testing it with other things. The other one I did test was Gladwin, not J, so that it only showed up references of my name where your name wasn't, and it works. So it's a really cool full-featured search that I've been working on for months. And I'm very proud.
Yes, Ben, to answer your question, the out-of-print Vanishing Inc books will be available in ebook. So I really think this is a game changer. And what our hope is, we're not trying to eliminate physical books. We're always going to print physical books. Our hope is that we can reach a new generation of people brought up on tablets, people who travel a lot, who want to read and digest books in the digital way, that they're going to come on board and be part of our community. Andy, you have one more surprise.
Yeah, similar to the ebook search, something we've always wanted is a decent Vanishing Inc app. And early in January, there will be a brand new Vanishing Inc iOS app that's been totally reworked, and it has Masterclass in it. You'll be able to watch Masterclass as it airs. You'll be able to buy all of our downloads. It's a full-featured app. It's the app we've always wanted, and it's been, I think, 8 months in the works, and finally there will be an iOS app. You know what? Any second now, the question's going to come on the screen about, is it only iOS? There we go. I knew it was coming. Yeah, right now, only iOS. But we will eventually get an Android app out there as well, because I know people are pretty keen on that. But we want to service the iPhone users first, because they're the ones who have already had an app for years that's just no longer really working. It hasn't been updated for a long time. But eventually there will be an Android app too. But let us get the iOS app out first.
Well,
that's a year in review.
We have just one more thing. We have a gift that will be available soon for all of you. You might be familiar with something that I wrote long ago, or I compiled, called Magic in Mind. This was an ebook that we put out for free. It has the most downloads of anything we've ever had on our site. It is a 500-page ebook that collects the very best magic theory writing of all time. So you've got Houdini, Robert Houdin, you've got Henning Nelms, you've got Daryl Fitzke, you've got Teller, you've got Darren Brown, you've got Roberto Giobbi, all of the greats past and present, Max Maven, Darwin Ortiz, and on and on and on, Jamie and Swiss. Everybody's there. Everybody's represented. And it's a huge, hefty book. You have to kind of read it digitally because it would be too unwieldy if it was a physical book. Well, thanks to Dean Buchek, one of our people in our community, he created an audiobook. And that audiobook is something we are going to be giving away free. So now you can have all the best magic theory from Tommy Wonder up through Roberto Giobbi available to you while you run, while you're at the gym, while you're on the go, in a car, in a plane. It's over 14 hours, and it'll be available, I think, very, very soon.
Right now. It's on the site right
now.
The newest product on the site. Yeah, it's great.
And by the way, one more thing. We mentioned the whole Magi Fest list, but what we haven't yet announced is that Harrison Greenbaum is not only here to talk about his year in review, but he is coming to Magi Fest as well to do it in person yet again. One of our most popular performers ever, always controversial. He will be doing a No Holds Barred appearance.
Here he is. Please welcome. I'm very nervous about this. Harrison Greenbaum.
All right. This is fantastic. I am so excited to be here. Apologies to Josh and Andy for playing that porn video during the masterclass. My bad. I didn't know it was going to go out to everybody. I thought I was just going to do two things at once, and that's on me. But here we go. I am so excited to be here right now. Let's shift us into a PowerPoint, everybody. It's been a long time coming. But it has been 2 years since I've been on this annual letter doing a State of the Magic Union, a Magic Year in Review. The very first Magic State of the Union was back in 2019. We did that at Magi Fest. It was a pretty fun time. This is the poster. Notice it's ages 16 plus. 16 plus. It's a rule that some magicians can't even follow when picking romantic partners. Yeah, that's right. Stop it. The second Magic State of the Union was at the session back in 2020, January 2020, which was an exciting time. I was about to launch a nationwide tour. I was about to launch an immersive magic show in New York City. And what could possibly derail either of those things? Yeah, we had a pandemic in 2020, and magicians started streaming themselves in Zoom magic shows, which gave them two things to be bad at simultaneously. And we went virtual. Here is, we were at 2020, actually December was the first time we did this Magic State of the Union online. This is what it looked like, by the way. Same shirt, same lights, dead fish. That fish is dead. It's very dead. I don't know if fish really are pets. I have a dog now. That's a pet. Fish are just kind of faster moving plants. I don't think people really care about fish. I ate sushi in front of that fish. That feels mean. Also, there are no such things as rescue fish. Nobody's ever been to somebody's apartment like, hey, what kind of fish is that? He's like, it's a rescue. I saved it from a red lobster. And by the way, 2020, 2021, we applauded all the doctors and nurses and first responders, and they absolutely deserved it. But a shout out to all the girlfriends and wives of magicians who had to hide under their partners' tables for entire Zoom shows just to hand them stuff. Those were the real unsung heroes of the pandemic. So a shout out to those brave souls. At the end of 2020, we did the virtual Magic State of the Union. A few days later, there was the January 6th insurrection, the invasion at the Capitol, which if the FBI asks is just a coincidence. And in 2021, I did another live virtual Magic State of the Union. And 6 days later, I was served a cease and desist by Chris Angel for what I did during that. Chris Angel, by the way, a magician who asked the question, what if mascara wished upon a star to be a real boy? I actually think Chris Angel is probably worse than the people who stormed the Capitol, because at least the people who stormed the Capitol can draw large crowds. Chris Angel's legal action is probably why the video of that State of the Magic Union, that entire annual letter, is not anywhere to be found on YouTube, on Vanishing Inc's website. There's nothing that would link Vanishing Inc to the Kablip restaurant parody menu that Chris Angel threatened legal action. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to link it. Definitely nothing that would link it. No kind of media, nothing at all that would link this website to Vanishing Inc. So that's good. That's a good thing. By the way, one of the things that I noticed in these annual letters is every year they send out an email. This is from, I believe, 2019. They send a really nice photo. I mean, look at these boys. Look at these. They're like yes. They're still laughing. Thank God they're still laughing. This is good. This is good. They're the, I feel like Josh and Andy are perhaps the Wham of the magic world. Or if you're a little bit younger, the Milli Vanilli. Or if you're a child, the Bert and Ernie, if you will, of the magic world. That was their 2019 photo. 2020, it got real dark, I guess, for everybody. So they went real dramatic. That was the previous one. That is their 2020 image. They look a little bit more like, I feel like, injury attorneys. And if you can't picture it, I'll help you picture it. There we go. I mean, are they still laughing? George, are they still laughing? Okay, good. All right, good. He's turning red. That's good. In 2021, they're less dramatic. This is nice. I think, okay, good. He's still laughing too. Whew, all right. This is actually, I think they stole this pose from Hall and Oates. That's pretty identical. Arms crossed, black shirt. They did Photoshop this one. It's harder to get outside in 2021, but the fact that they Photoshopped it means it's really easy to delete the background, which means it's really easy to then put them, anywhere. Like that's them in front of the sinking of the Titanic. That's them at Chernobyl. They were there. That's them in North Korea, which I think is where the new retreat is after Egypt. So look forward to announcements from that. That's very, very exciting. And then they went dramatic again. This is unbelievable. Josh and Andy had no idea that this roast would mostly be them. This is you put this out. You did this. This one is, I'm going to be honest, is very romantic. And so I'm thinking it could be the cover of a novel. I think that would work very well. Maybe they release an ebook on the new app. I think that would be exciting. It's not the most romantic, it's not the most erotic book out there, magic book at least. There is Conjure a Dick by Professor Hoffman. That is a real book. I have it on the shelf behind me. That is a real book. That's a real book. It's not dirty because it's a real book. It's a real book. That's not also, it's also not the dirtiest magic book. That would be this one, 25 Rubber Penetration Tricks. That is the dirtiest book. Also not dirty. That's a real book. And you can buy it. It's with rubber squares, also known as dental dam. It just gets, I don't know why Magic Ian hyphenated his name. Anyway, that is the photo. I couldn't figure out where I recognize it from. And then I realized Grindr. It's definitely Grindr. And if you think I'm exaggerating, we'll get back to that in a second, by the way. This is, and by the way, you should ask yourself, by the way, why do I know what those apps look like? All right, so there is 2019, and then a few years later, Andi is now as tall as Josh and wearing the same shirt. So I think they are becoming each other. This is their newest one, by the way. It's the same photo, just gayer. And I know that is a fact because that is the photo, and that is an ad for a gay dating app. They're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same, guys. That takes us up, by the way, to 2021, December 2021. So much has happened since then. I actually moved across the country. There we go, 2022. I moved across the country. I became the first comedian or comedy magician to ever headline a Cirque du Soleil show. It was called Cirque du Soleil's Mad Apple. It was a New York themed show, and they hired me because I feel like they needed a Jew to be authentic. I was the Jew in the show, and there's me jumping. That's a fun shot. 2023, I actually got married to a girl from Nebraska, which is a fun sentence to say because different parts of it are surprising to each of you. I mean, what a journey you guys just went on, huh? You were like, married? What? A girl? No. Nebraska, get the hell out of here. That's us. We know how to kiss. It's very obvious that we know how to straight kiss. And here's an actual romantic photo. We had a very fun wedding. We took lots of kissing for reals. And then we dropped it like it was hot. It was pretty fun. Then 2023, we're still in this year. Did 650 shows at Cirque du Soleil, moved back across the country to New York City, mostly for the pizza. I mean, my career and family, but mostly the pizza. And that takes us to there's 2021. It's now 2023. And here's the big reveal, although I think Josh gave it away a little bit. This is all really just a sneak preview. When we do these broadcasts, obviously we have to censor ourselves a little bit. This is an all audiences thing that's happening. Can you believe this is the clean version? Because drum roll, please. That's right. 1 month from now, January at Magi Fest, you can catch me live once again, 5 years after it began, doing the full Magic State of the Union. It's uncensored. It's for adults only. It's late night. Anything can happen. Anything will happen. Join me in exotic Columbus, Ohio. You know Columbus, Ohio, like Cincinnati and Cleveland, but worse. We all love Columbus. It's the home of Jeffrey Dahmer and Joshua J. Only one eats people. We swear. We swear. We swear that the main connection between the two of them is that they're from the same state. That's the main thing that links them. You could even visit beautiful Germantown in Columbus, Ohio, and step back into the past in Germany, a thing that I will take a very hard pass on because it sounds like a trap. But that is Columbus, Ohio. That's where I will be in January 2024. I am so grateful to Josh and Andi for taking a chance on me since 2019. I'm so excited to be doing this live again and to hanging out with you guys. So thank you so much.
Yay!
Can't wait.
Somehow we've never been sued, but we love having you here. Yep, you're going to be at Magi Fest. It's going to be a very, very late night event for adults only. We will be checking at the door, but we appreciate you being here. Congratulations on getting married. We met your wife for the first time a few weeks ago. Emily, amazing.
She's real.
She's real and she's fantastic. And really happy for you and the success you've had over the last couple of years.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you guys, and I am so excited to be hanging out with you.
Yay, love you, Harrison. Thank you. That was amazing.
Well, that is our year in review. But honestly, I feel like a fraud standing here. I'm sure you do too, because really the people we should be celebrating are the Vanishing Inc team. All 47 of them do an incredible job. 365 days a year, 24/7. There is somebody in our inbox there. The marketing team are working all year round. The people in the stores, the Disneyland store and Pier 39 store in San Francisco, those stores are open every day of the year, and we really appreciate everything they do.
That's right. It's been a great year. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. We thank our team. We thank the people behind the scenes today, namely George Luck, for running this Zoom, and wishing you all Happy New Year and a safe, healthy year.
Happy New Year. See you next year, everybody.